I think you'd have to look back on the season and perhaps throw it all on the changes that they made midway through the season, in the sense that Evans Adute joined, the man who eventually delivered the league, joined them after match week 21, by which time Medeama had played 21 matches. They had picked 31 points. In the next 13 matches that Adute would play, he would pick up a staggering 29 points out of a possible 39 that he competed for. So it tells you the levels at which they operated once Evans Adute came. But it wasn't just his arrival. The team also made some crucial recruitments midway through the season that essentially set the tone for what was to come. And so the young man that you would see score the second, third, and even the first goals, helping himself to a hat-trick of goals, Jonathan Soa, they signed him from Dan Bolts midway through the season. And in the 20 matches that he played, he scored 12 goals for them, which is remarkable. So they made two signings that essentially gave them steel and substance. Steel at the back in Felix Shea, who they got from Karela. Perhaps a move that Medeama benefited from the chaos at Karela, because from what I was told yesterday, when the club got wind of the player's decision to move to Karela, to Medeama, they offered him something more than what Medeama had offered. But his mistrust of the new regime essentially is what informed his decision to move on to Medeama Sporting Club. But those signings are exactly what has characterized Medeama as a football club, because if you go back to what has made them successful over the years, in the years they used to win the FA Cup, it was picking young talent with high resale value who could help them, give them a competitive edge in the interim for free, and often with a very consistent profile. And if you would remember all of those diminutive wingers and playmakers from Theophilus Anoba, Kwame Boahene, in recent times they've had Ebenezer Akabi, Nana Kofi Babel, and all of these players. There is a method to some of these recruitments. And off the pitch, though, they perhaps may have been laying the groundwork for the team to move the next level. Amidst a bit of turmoil, if you like, because we've seen the longest-serving chief executive in the league move away from the club and perhaps return in an unofficial capacity in James Esilfi. But the biggest moves they had made were in the boardroom, because in November last year, they gave away a significant control of the club to the traditional council in that area, which essentially meant that Medeama were no longer a one-man
belonged to just Moses. So it became a community club.
Exactly.
In some sense.
That is significant, because if you would remember, the contract that they had with Goldfields had to stall after they paid the initial $100,000 for them, because there was an audit, and the long and short was that they could no longer continue because it was a sole proprietorship at the time. So they learned from some of these things. And one of the immediate benefits of that was the decision to actually put into action an earlier agreement to build a club stadium with Goldfields. So you're looking at a very progressive club which has its own issues, but is making a deliberate attempt to learn from them and to build on the experience that they've had over the years. One of the things that I perhaps did not agree with that they did this season was to re-sign Theophilus Anoba. For those who remember the acrimonious nature in which he left the club 8 years ago, to bring him back took a lot of sacrifices. But as I was told, his return was perhaps a sign that Moses was prepared to bend bridges and give a bit of...
And he needed that good mix of experience and young players, because this Medeama team, the top scorer is a centre-back in Vincent Atinga. And he scored 11 goals this season, 9 of which have come from the penalty spot. Probably the most
Jonathan scored one more than Atinga. Jonathan Soa scored by virtue of the hat-trick yesterday.
Yes, okay, by virtue of the hat-trick yesterday, exactly. Before the last game of the season,
he was on 11.
He was on 11, scored 9 penalties. I mean, we tend to underestimate the players when they score from the penalty spot. But there was a season where Chelsea's top scorer was Jorginho, and it was because he also scored the goals from the penalty spot. It's not that easy, is it? Is it true?
No, it's not. I mean, to do it consistently, it's not. And that's the thing. When many goalkeepers know that you are good at it, before they meet you, before they come up against you, they would have prepared. They would have seen all your clips of taking penalties. If you take it once in a while and you score, you've taken 2 penalties in the whole season, that's quite different. But when you know, when everybody knows that you're the consistent taker, it takes some bit of nerves to do that. And I think he's always been a very good spot taker. You know, from Hartlepool through the local Black Stars those days, He always was calm in front of the goalkeeper from the spot. So yeah, the experience was needed, his calmness was needed, and of course his leadership at the back when he played. And we speak about him and we talk about his goals, but he's defended very well for them as well. This has been a tower for them at the back. So yeah, I think Medeama, as you know, Achu has said it. It's been a work in progress for them, really, because they've been here before, but it's by no fault of theirs. These seasons have not been able to be completed. Yeah. Before number 12, they were leading the table. Before COVID, and when the league was truncated, they were leading the table. They could have gone on to win. At the time they were leading, they were the best team in the league. They could have gone on to win.
On both occasions, they were actually the best team. And that's why I said in my intro that this is probably the year you can't stick your neck out and say Medeama have been necessarily the best team in the Ghana Premier League. But they've won the title. The seasons when they were really the best teams were the 2 seasons that were interrupted by both Fanas and COVID.
And even when you look at their squad, with greater respect to this group, they've achieved a massive thing. But I think during the Nas expose, during the COVID time, they had a better group of players than what they've assembled now. Yeah. And it's not as if they've been playing very well from the start of the season. And I think
they've gone through 3 coaches.
Yes, Achu has said it all. When Ivan Sadote came in, everything changed. And it changed along with some of the decisions they made when the second transfer window came and the recruitment. So yeah, credit to them and congratulations to Medeama.
All right, so congratulations to Medeama. They will be playing in Africa next season. Hopefully their new stadium would also have been completed then, and they would be playing those games there. We don't know. Maybe it will happen. But bottom line is, sometimes you need to put yourself in a certain position and wait for your opponent to slip up. Medeama had a wonderful second run, and once some of the teams at the top, especially Genostar, started to slip up, they were there to take advantage, and they took full advantage. So congratulations to everyone around the club and all their fans in Takwa who have supported this team for all these years and never have seen a Ghana Premier League title. This is for all of you, and congratulations.